There is a state of emergency in the WNBA right now. Their only star, their cash cow, the only player capable of capturing interest from people who aren't identifying as they, them. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks and possibly longer with a quad strain.
The WNBA just got a harsh wake-up call. You can't fake star power. 2 days ago, the Indiana Fever announced Caitlin Clark would miss at least 2 weeks due to injury, and the league's ecosystem collapsed faster than one of Angel Reese's missed layups.
Wasn't any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices. If there was no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up. If that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic.
Ticket prices for the Fever's Sky game at the United Center tanked, dropping 71% in just 24 hours. Fans scrambled to cancel plans, sell tickets, and demand refunds. The league had moved games to bigger arenas, banking on Clark's draw. Now, they're left staring at rows of empty seats. As for the so-called Angel Reese effect? Let's be honest, it never existed. Drop a get well soon CC in the comments if you're with us. Let's go.
48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't.
The moment Clark's injury went public, ticket holders panic sold like the market crashed. Chicago Sky thought they struck gold by moving the June 7th game to the United Center, home of the Bulls, expecting a sellout because Caitlin Clark was coming to town.
Reality is, at this point, we don't know how much time Caitlin Clark is going to miss. If it were up to Uncle KC, Caitlin Clark would miss the remainder of the regular season, so jealous, entitled players in the WNBA can be reminded that no one is watching for them. No one is staying home on a Saturday afternoon to watch Natasha Cloud. Outside of Vlad Pooter, no one's buying tickets to see Bob Griner, and no one, I mean no one, is paying to see Angel Reese attempt to play basketball.
But that hype died instantly. Ticket prices plummeted from $86 to just $25 overnight, a 71% nosedive. The Sky went from counting profits to counting empty seats before tip-off even happened.
When it comes to the Chicago Sky game, the marquee matchup in the WNBA, like it or love it, rivalry or not, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that is the marquee matchup in the WNBA, and those tickets are crashing just as well. From $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips.
Real fans made tough decisions. One fan canceled flights and hotel reservations for a Fever Sun game, saying, "We're Caitlin fans before Fever fans. She's the main reason the girls want to watch."
Majority of these are everyday, normal people who watch Caitlin Clark in Iowa, watch her in her first year in Indiana, said, man, I want to watch that, I want to go to those games, I want to experience that. They won't be able to experience it. Time to sell. Families that are going to be driving a state over, 2 states over, commuting 4 hours, getting a hotel room, paying for parking, paying for this, they're not doing that anymore. People from flying across the pond, they're not flying across the pond to watch the Indiana Fever. Stop it, WNBA. They're flying across the pond to watch C.
The Washington Mystics were hit too. They'd moved their Fever game to the larger CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore, betting on Clark to fill those extra seats. Instead, ticket prices collapsed from $41 to $22, a 47% drop and a financial disaster in the making.
Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80. People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday.
Data from TickPick showed the total meltdown. average prices for the 4 games Clark was set to miss fell from $137 to $80. This wasn't a dip, it was a crash. Teams banking on Clark's popularity are now stuck with half-empty arenas and furious season ticket holders. The message is clear: Clark isn't just a star. She is the show. The only one casual fans travel for, buy jerseys for, and rearrange weekends around.
Angel Reese, Under Pressure. When you think about it, there have been so many classic songs written about the WNBA dump. Obviously, Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie, which directly applies to what Angel Reese and her colleagues are going through right now. An immense amount of pressure to carry this dump of a league while Caitlin Clark recovers from a quad strain.
Meanwhile in Chicago, fans are asking, where's Angel Reese's supposed drawing power? She's never caused ticket surges, travel plans, or venue upgrades. The difference is obvious. One player gets hurt and the entire league shakes. The other has her best game and barely registers on the radar. Clark accounted for 26.5% of all WNBA engagement this year, attendance, merchandise, and ratings combined. One player. Over a quarter of the league's momentum. That should make every other player take a hard look in the mirror.
With Caitlin Clark injured, the WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to carry the league. I'm not just talking about ratings, I'm not just talking about attendance. The WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to maintain the interest of the mainstream. With Angel Reese being the only player with mainstream name recognition, most of the pressure, it is going to be on her to perform. And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to carry the league.
Let's talk TV. Of the 23 WNBA games that crossed 1 million viewers this season, guess how many featured Clark? 20. Without her, games struggle to reach even 400,000. With her, she triples that number just by showing up. That's not a gap, it's a canyon.
He's saying, oh, well, the teams aren't really going to suffer. They already sold the tickets. No. You don't understand. If the Chicago Sky moved into the United Center, and let's say resale-wise, they sold all 19,000, well, when only 9 to 10,000 show up, they're losing merchandise sales, they're losing food sales, they're losing beverage sales, they're losing big. They took a big gamble to get into that arena, and they're losing big because it's not going to be full, and those people aren't going to be buying things there.
ESPN and other networks bet everything on Clark. 41 of the Fever's 44 games will be nationally televised, the most of any team. Why? Because she delivers. The 3 non-Clark games that reached 1 million viewers? Playoffs and season openers with massive promotion. Angel Reese can drop double-doubles all she wants, but her games still pull in the same modest numbers WNBA fans are used to.
Weeks ago, last year, if you wanted to get a glimpse of Caitlin Clark, try to get that autograph, it would have cost you $300 to get in the building. It would have cost you $200 to get in the building, $500 to get in the building, and then you got to fight to get close enough. Now you have a pretty good opportunity. $25 to get in the building. Let me make my way down because nobody's going to be there. Hey, Caitlin. And she loves her fans, so she's going to sign. She loves her. Hey, Caitlin, I came all the way. Can I get an autograph, please? It sucks you don't play. Oh, yeah. Sign. Sign. So, for those that are looking for a Caitlin Clark autograph, now might be your best chance to get that at a reasonable price.
Clark's injury created a perfect test case, who really moves the needle in women's basketball. And the results weren't close. Without her, the league feels background again, networks left with empty programming and advertisers wondering what happened. Star power can't be faked.
Sources are telling me that Mama Reese demands free tickets. The Chicago Bravado, they happily oblige because they're also giving away free tickets to the other dozen or so people that show up.
Remember the Angel Reese effect? This injury exposed it for what it is, a myth. Reese once implied that the WNBA's rise was a team effort, a shared lift from multiple stars. But when Clark sat, the floor dropped out.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize."
The Sky's non-fever games stayed flat. No surge, no bump, no buzz. Even in her own city, fans weren't showing up unless Clark was on the other side. If Reese truly had that pull, shouldn't those games have felt like an event?
Sorry, young lady, nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
Sure, Reese has millions of social media followers, but that doesn't translate to ticket sales or TV viewership. Clout is cool. But star power is when people pay to watch you. And those numbers just aren't there.
Even though the mainstream media wants us to believe that Angel Reese is a huge star, we have years of evidence that proves otherwise. Like I say all the time, there is a huge difference between a star and a draw. You can be a star, you can be famous, and still not be able to draw flies to a fresh
Truth is, Reese needs Clark way more than Clark needs Reese. Their rivalry gets headlines because of Clark. Without her, the narrative falls flat. LSU fans may have followed Reese into the pros, but they're not paying WNBA prices for average Tuesday night games in Connecticut. College loyalty only goes so far.
Once you remove Caitlin Clark from the equation, there's no reason for people to watch this league, which is why people haven't been watching Angel Reese throughout her career. Her final season at LSU, this was the pinnacle of her drawing power. Angel Reese was coming off of winning a national championship. She was making cameos in these atrocious rap videos with Cardi B and some girl named Lado. Now keep in mind, this was before her public image was tainted. This was before Angel Reese was playing the role of the villain. Her final season at LSU, Angel Reese was filling the arena to 88% capacity. On the road, it was significantly worse. She was averaging just over 8,000 a game on the road.
Again, this injury was the perfect experiment. Remove Clark, and interest craters. Meanwhile, Reese-only games stay right where they've always been average and underwhelming.
Her rookie year with the Chicago Bravado, the numbers were eerily similar. It was around 88% capacity. Angel Reese averaged around 8,700 a game. Going into 2025, Angel Reese was the only star in the secondary dump unrivaled. For the first time in her career, it was her opportunity to prove that she could draw. It was her opportunity to prove that she did not need Caitlin Clark to draw an audience. What was the end result? Unrivaled averaged 221,000.
The league's learning a hard lesson. Media hype and social followings don't equal real impact. You either draw crowds or you don't. Clark's absence proved what the numbers already knew. She's the only real box office player in the game right now.
Angel Reese. She's great at creating stories. She knows how to manipulate the media. Girl, if this dump don't give me a raise, I'll refuse to play. We gon' clap back at them haters. We gon' tell Adam Silver to give us our bag. Yeah, Adam Silver is gonna give you a bag. He's gonna give you a grocery bag and tell you to load it in the person's car who actually had the money to buy the groceries.
Now, the Fever face their biggest test yet. Can they survive 4 games without the engine that makes them go? They averaged over 90 points per game with Clark. Now, they need to find offense, and fast.
So I think that's the advantage of our depth, right? And we, Sophie had injury early as well. I think it's the advantage of us, the depth that we added in the offseason, that we're equipped. Certainly we'd rather have it early than late. It's a great opportunity for our team to find an identity. It's a great opportunity for our team to play in a different.
Kelsey Mitchell becomes the focal point. Defenses will key in on her without Clark on the floor. She averaged 19.2 ppg last season, now she needs to get to 25 while staying efficient. She'll see double teams and pressure Clark usually absorbed.
I don't think we change how we play. I think we change what the emphasis is, right? Our off-ball actions as opposed to some of our on-ball actions. When we get to our on-ball actions, utilizing our personnel in a different way. You might not see as much of AB getting the ball on a dive and a pick and roll as you would in some of the other off-ball screening actions that get her to that point. Or where our shots come from. A lot of times with C and the ball in her hands, our shots are coming up off the break, right? Now we might get the ball moving inline to inline when we're moving it side to side. So I don't think it changes how we play. I think it just changes the emphasis on the actions that we get to.
Aaliyah Boston's role just grew too. With Clark's three-point threat gone, defenses will collapse the paint. Boston has to score through contact and dominate the glass. Meanwhile, the Fever must decide, do they slow down without their point guard, or try to maintain Clark's tempo and identity?
I also think it's a great opportunity for Caitlin to watch the game from the sideline and to grow in almost like a coaching kind of mindset and see some different things that we might be talking about on film, addressing in practice to see it develop in live action.
Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham now get their moment, but Clark's absence exposes a huge gap. Hull has to knock down open shots. Cunningham must playmake. And realistically, the Fever may be lucky to stay at .500 until Clark returns.
Things when you think about Caitlin and her not wanting to miss games. Obviously, she's a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play. But for me, it's maintaining perspective, right? It's making sure that we address this in a way that doesn't affect long term. That we take care of it. Don't over push. Don't overexert. Making sure that we take the long game approach to this, so that we're not having lingering issues throughout the course of the season. And I'm glad that sometimes great players don't tell you when they're hurting. I'm glad that she did, because we need to nip this in the bud.
The WNBA just got a reality check. You can't build your whole business model on one player and then pretend the league's growth is stable. Clark is the momentum. Her return will be felt across the league, fans, teams, TV networks, all counting the days. Wish her a fast recovery by commenting "Get well soon CC" down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Click the video on screen and we'll see you next time.